Good afternoon, Bengals fans. This is the Back Row Bengals Sports Podcast, presented to you by the Back Row Fantasy Show. Go ahead and give them a listen. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all over the place. I am your host, Josh Miller. You can find me all over the place as well at the Degenerate L1 on Twitter. And you can find my blogs on the collegeessentialblog.com. And you can find me on Barstool Cincinnati, the Twitter page, and the Instagram page. Let's go ahead and get right into it, Bengals fans. So I put out a poll, obviously, of what people want to hear for today and for today's podcast. And overwhelmingly, it was about the Bengals uniforms. So basically, and I want to talk about what I think the Bengals should do and where they should take these uniforms into, what direction they need to take them into. So basically, when the Bengals fans first came out with their current iteration of their uniform, I'm not talking about the color rush. I'm talking about like their usual attire for games. So that's the black tops, white pants, and sometimes throwing in orange, sometimes all black, which I think the all black looks incredible. I don't know why the Bengals don't use it more. I think it's just an intimidation factor. It's a big thing for Cincinnati. It's almost like it's becoming a tradition, especially on UC's campus. I'm seeing that a lot. The blackout for the basketball games and the football games always brings in a huge crowd. Usually it's a sellout for both games if they're doing a blackout. I know FC Cincinnati is starting to do blackouts, and they're bringing in a lot of attendance, just hyping up those games to come early, be loud, wear black. That's a classic line. And I think the Bengals would benefit from doing blackout games, because there's just nothing better than like when the whole stadium's dressed in one color and the players are all dressed in black, and it looks like just a black hole in the stands, and especially on night games. Just an incredible atmosphere. I do think they should just do that uniform combo more. All right, I got away from what I was trying to say. So basically, when they came out, a lot of fans are saying that there's too much going on with the uniform, and I can completely see that. There's stripes on the side. I believe there's numbers on the shoulder as well. There's stripes going down the pants, and a lot of people are thinking that maybe there's just too much going on in the Bengals uniform, too many stripes, too much like look over here, look over here. So basically, a lot of the new uniform design that I'm seeing is a lot of designs that are simpler, more back to when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl in '88. Less stripes, but still prevalent on the shoulders. And then I saw one where they're coming over the shoulders instead of on the sides. They're coming over the top, but they're just thin lines. That one's a pretty cool one. I do think that the Bengals need a uniform update. Obviously, if they're reshaping the franchise, they're rebuilding. A new uniform is another thing that people can get excited about. Obviously, I know the NFL is the no fun league when it comes to uniforms. I don't understand that. Like, who cares? Why can't each team have a different uniform? Like, what if the NFL had in Oregon where every time they play, they have a different uniform? They have 16 uniforms, and if they include the playoffs. Now, I don't want the Bengals to do that, but that would be kind of cool. It's something different to see in the NFL today. I do wish that they become less stringent on the uniform policy. I don't understand why they even have a uniform policy, but they do nonetheless. It does limit you to one helmet, not including a throwback. I believe that's the rule. But I think, honestly, when thinking about what the Bengals should do this year for their uniforms, if they were to change them, I would say I'm going along the lines. I do agree that they should go simpler. They should go simpler. They should take out some of the stripes. Maybe take away the numbers on the shoulder. That would also, I think, would be good. It's just less, and that's okay. You don't need to be overbearing with your uniforms. I look at the Seattle Seahawks. They really, honestly, they look like a college team. Especially when they do the all neon green, it looks disgusting. You look like you're a college team. You can still look like an NFL team, still look slick, still look good, and have a new uniform that looks better than everybody else in your conference. And that's awesome. Like, you want to have the best uniform. You want to look the best. You want people to put on your jerseys and wear your apparel and wear your clothing. by doing that, you have to make an incredibly cool uniform. I think one of the things the Bengals could do is push for using a white and black helmet. So they would keep the black stripes, but where the orange would be white when they do the Siberian Tiger look. I think that's a dope look. I think everybody, when that color rush came out, was really excited for it. I think it would also be really cool to have in the playoffs when, it's freezing cold and you're playing in snow. So, maybe if we're going to, I don't know, Buffalo, or we're going to New England, and we wear the white Tiger, all white, the white and black helmet and the white and black uniforms, I think that would look so cool. I think they would get so much props for it. That would be a great redesign. I thought about the Bengals doing a throwback. So now, obviously, if you go all the way back, they have those black jerseys with the white, not Bengal stripes, but just stripes across the shoulders, and then there's no Bengal stripes on the helmets. It just says Bengals on it. I'm going to be honest. I really am not a huge fan of those uniforms. I would rather them do a throwback of the '88 Super Bowl. That was a great throw. That would be a great throwback. Obviously, it pays homage to the Bengals Super Bowl team, where they went and still unfortunate loss where they should have won, but that's neither here nor there. Because if you go back to when, they didn't have the Bengal stripes, you're kind of taking away what made the helmet and the uniform so iconic. It really is iconic. A lot of people think that the Bengals helmet is the best in the league, along with me. I mean, it's just such a cool helmet. It just goes so well with the uniform. Now, so if you take that away, it's just kind of okay, we're not really known for this. Now, I mean, I know a lot of teams do this, and it's a throwback, so you're supposed to go older, but I don't know. I think that keeping with the Bengal stripes and maybe going, if you're going to do a throwback, do the 88-89 Super Bowl team, which would be phenomenal. A lot of, feel good. You can have a whole throwback day. We saw it with the Bengals 50. That brings in people. That makes people feel good. It's the same way that the Ring of Honor makes people feel good. It's just paying homage, some nostalgia. I understand the Bengals don't build on nostalgia, and that's not one of their top priorities. I understand that. This is something easy that you can do. I know teams that do this. And when was the last time the Bengals did a throwback? I can't remember. I don't even know if the Bengals have ever done a throwback in my lifetime. If that's not true, please let me know. But I don't think the Bengals have ever done a throwback in my lifetime. So let's change that. Let's do a throwback to the 88-89 Super Bowl team. That would be perfect. All right, so that's my thing with the throwback. With the new helmets, I don't see them doing anything with the stripes. I think they need to keep that overall concept. But if you're going to do a Siberian Tiger, I think you should absolutely do a white Tiger helmet. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. You really want the uniform to match, that's it. Because when they unveiled those against Miami on a Thursday night, they looked really cool. They looked really clean. But there was just something off about the orange helmet with the white uniform. There was something off with it. So I think that if you add the white helmet, it would just look perfect. All right, one more thing on the uniforms. Then I do want to get to the defensive line, because we're going to not only talk about uniforms, but I do want to talk about the defensive line and what it means for this season and what it means for next season as well. There was one more design that I saw that was really cool, was a blackout. Now, I just got done talking about how much I love the blackout. So it was all black uniform, so black tops, black pants. New design to it. It's the same thing where it's simple, over-the-shoulder stripes, but not like Bengal stripes, but not too overbearing, kind of not what they have right now. Less than what they have, simpler, cleaner. But the one problem that I have with it is with the helmet, they switch the orange and the black. So it's mainly black, and then it's orange stripes. So it's like a black body with orange stripes. I'm not a huge fan of that helmet. I think if that was going to be the Bengals blackout uniform, and it's either that or no blackout, I'm going for it. But I really do think they should just keep with the original orange and black helmet if they're going to do a blackout theme. Now, if they're going to do a whiteout theme, that's a different story. But with the blackout theme, it's still mainly, it's going to be orange and black. So if it's still mainly going to be orange and black, that can still be your secondary color being the main part of your helmet. And it would still look clean. It would look sick, and it doesn't change anything except for the uniform. Just doesn't change anything for the helmet. I think that would be perfect. You don't have to get written up by the league because obviously it's a no fun league. God forbid anybody have any fun in the NFL. At any rate, that's basically what my takes on the uniforms are. I think a redesign would be really cool. I think people would get behind it. I think if, honestly, you don't even have to revamp the entire uniform. You really don't. You could just do minor tweaks, make it cleaner, maybe a little bit more retro, not retro, but make it more, what's the opposite of retro? It's, like current, current. Just make it cleaner, new aged, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really finding the words right now that I want to say about them, but you get the point. Just newer, something new. Because this is what this Bengals team is. It's very new. Everything is new. We're basing a lot of our talent off of young, really, really young guys. I mean, our head coach is a very, very young guy. Our starting quarterback is a rookie. One of our starting wide receivers is a rookie. The 3 guys that are supposed to revamp the linebacking room are rookies. Very young team. So I think a brand new, young, sleek uniform would be great for national attention. And I think it would be great for Bengals fans to see. I would love it. All right. So that's enough with the uniforms. Let's talk about the defensive line. So I've been doing a little bit more research on the defensive part of the Bengals because, you know, I mean, it's so offensively, the conversation nationally is so built with the offense. Sorry, there's a fly in here. It's annoying me. I'm sorry. The offense have been mostly the talking point because obviously Joe Burrow, you got T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, AJ Green. I mean, there's so many storylines going on. The offensive line. So I mean, the Bengals defense is kind of getting swept away in terms of just, you know, they're not saying they're terribly horrible and they're not saying they're incredibly top 5 good. But, you know, there's not a whole lot of people talking about it, and one of the parts of the defense that I think took a huge step forward and is going to be a huge part of our team is the defensive line. The defensive line for the Bengals has been okay in recent years. I mean, ever since 2015, they had an incredible defensive line. Then after that, it just started to get worse and worse, and then it finally came to a head last year. But the defensive line really wasn't terrible last year. The problem is that they got so exposed through their linebacking core and their secondary that they seemed like they're terrible. Like, the linebackers couldn't fill the gaps. They couldn't keep up with receivers. The cornerbacks just kept getting beat over and over again. I'm telling you. So now that the Bengals defensive line has a lot more help, and also, not only that, personally themselves have gotten a lot better with the additions of DJ Reader, Carl Lawson going to become a bigger part of the defensive line. Now you got Khalid Kareem coming off the edge, which people are saying he's gonna make the team and he's gonna make some plays, and I think he will. I think he can get some snaps if he potentially, you know, he's gonna have to overperform and he's gonna have to overwork in the offseason. But if he does, you know, in a year like this where he could catch a lot of people off guard, he could get some significant minutes. He could definitely take the load off of Carlos Dunlap if he needs it because, you know, Carlos Dunlap is probably on the back half of his career. He's been in the league for a while. He's very good. Trust me, he's very good. But now we can get him rested, and if he can, like, sit out for a couple plays, get some water, you know, and Khalid Kareem can at least hold his own and hold them down, maybe make a few tackles, maybe make a couple plays. That would be a big role in the Bengals defensive line. Now, with the Bengals defensive line getting much better, so straight across the board, here's probably you got Carl Lawson, Geno Atkins, Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Carlos Dunlap. I mean, those are some scary individuals. I do have one story about Sam Hubbard. So when Sam was in high school, he played lacrosse and football, and he was supposed to go to Notre Dame for lacrosse. Well, he did go to Notre Dame, I believe, for a year. Then he decommitted, and transferred to Ohio State to play football. And he played football at Ohio State, and now he's playing for the Bengals. But when he was playing lacrosse in high school, we were in the same summer program. He was a couple years older than me. But I saw him practice one time because my team was practicing on the other field. I walked over and I wanted to see because everybody's talking about this Sam Hubbard kid. Oh my God. He was just running all over the field. He got every ground ball. He was shooting all over the place. Incredible. Just an incredible player. Incredible lacrosse player. Incredible athlete. And obviously now he's playing in the NFL, and I am sitting here in a basement talking about him playing in the NFL. So clearly he went on to do great things, and I'm doing better. So, yeah, okay. I'm not doing that much better. At any rate, so then you got DJ Reader, bona fide stud, been in the Pro Bowl, very good. He's going to really reshape this defensive line back to where it really should be. Geno Atkins does need to have a big year this year, a bigger year than he has. You know, he's kind of approaching the point where he's got to be in his prime, or he's going to greatly underperform. He needs to be the Pro Bowler that he was. If he's not, this Bengals team is really in trouble. We need his help. We need him to be very good. We do. We need Geno Atkins to be good. We need Carl Lawson to be really good. We need him to be better than what he has. And now I know he's pretty good, but he's got to be out there for a while. He's got to be able to go out there and get it done. You also got Josh Tupou, who I think is for his size, he is very fast. And he is a massive, massive man. Great run stopper. And keeping him on the defensive line and putting him in short down yardage and maybe every once in a while a pass rush would be massively, a massive improvement for the Bengals defensive line, and having him he's been able to make some plays, and I like having him, and I think he complements the defensive line very well. I think all of them do. I think if they can work together, some of the stunts that they can pull, they can really do some damage. And one of the best ways that they can do some damage is by giving the linebackers and the secondary a lot of help. And by rushing the quarterback, making him throw, instead of within 4 seconds, within 2.5 to 3 seconds. That's a big margin of time. If the cornerbacks and the linebackers can stay with the receivers for 2.5 seconds, then the quarterback is going to have to scramble out, or he's going to get sacked, or he's going to throw the ball. And when the ball's up in the air, we do have some ball hawks on the team. I think Logan Wilson will have a couple picks this year. I think Jesse Bates will definitely have a couple picks this year. William Jackson III needs to have a better year than he did last year. It's something that's more aligned with his rookie year. But, I mean, he can still do it. He can still do it. I'm telling you right now, the Bengals' defensive line is going to be one of their key essentials to winning ball games next year. It's going to take a lot of pressure off of the secondary and a lot of pressure off of the linebacking core. But also on top of this, now we can key up a lot of more blitz packages that are including the secondary, that are including the linebackers, more than when we have been, especially past last year. We couldn't really blitz that hard because we would just get beat immediately. Our linebackers would get beat immediately. Our secondary would get beat immediately. But now we can't. We can blitz. We got Von Bell, who is very good on the blitz. He's a ball hawk. He's a turnover machine. I think putting him on a blitz, having him with this defensive line, they're going to get to the quarterback a lot faster, especially with an offensive line that isn't expecting it from this Bengals team. And we're going to catch a lot of teams off guard with how good our defensive line is. And we're going to win ball games because of this. So I think that with the additions that they made and the gelling over a year and over this offseason is going to prove greatly for the Bengals defense as a whole. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, obviously. But the pass defense will be insurmountably better. They'll be much better. One of the biggest keys that the Bengals defense has to understand is the Bengals are going to be much better defensively the shorter they're on the field. This team with long drives, I don't know how good they are with bend, don't break kind of thing. If they can go out and stop them, on a 3-and-out or maybe, 4 or 5 plays and then done, that's how they're going to win ball games. They're going to have to get stops immediately. So that means blitzing hard, creating havoc, setting them back. causing false starts because you're in the offense's head. That the Bengals are gonna have to do that to win games. I think they will. But we'll see. I think the Bengals defense is going to be much better. And I got a hot take. I think the Bengals will be top 10 in takeaways. Not turnover margin, takeaways. I think with the addition of Mackenzie Alexander, I think the addition with Von Bell, and then you already got Jesse Bates, who's a ball hawk. We talked about the linebacking core already. We talked about the defensive line. I think there's no doubt that the Bengals are going to be top 10 in takeaways. I think they're going to have Lou Anarumo is going to set them up for, chances to take the ball away. A lot of man coverages where the safety comes down and makes a play on the ball. And then there's going to be a lot of times where the Bengals are going to blitz heavy. They're going to send 5, 6, 7 guys. They're going to send them, and they're going to hope that they get to the quarterback faster, and they are going to have to believe that they can. And I believe that they can. They're going to create a lot more turnovers. I think Sam Hubbard creates a lot of turnovers. I mean, hell, he had a touchdown against Miami a couple years ago. I think that he can get back to where he is his best, which is when he's singled up one-on-one with the tackle, and with the defensive line also creating havoc in front of him. If he can get one-on-one and use his speed and get past that tackle, he can get to the quarterback. He could cause a lot of turnovers. I think DJ Reader can cause a lot of turnovers. The pocket is going to collapse for the opponents so much faster than we've seen over the past couple years. I'm telling you. This Bengals defense is going to be so much better. Now, are they going to be top 15 in total defense? Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. Maybe. But I do think they will be top 10 in turnovers. I think the Bengals are going to be set up where they can give Joe Burrow the ball on the opponent's 40-yard line. And that's exactly what Joe Burrow needs, short fields. If Joe Burrow can get short fields, then he can really dissect the defense of the other side. He can use Joe Mixon a lot more because if it's short down yardage, Joe Mixon can break away. And if the Bengals defense can get off faster, they're going to be more rested. They're going to be better in the fourth quarter, which is exactly what the Bengals need. All right, so that is all the time I had. Wow, we went 22 minutes today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Going to be back tomorrow. I'll have a new podcast out tomorrow. Don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet. Might do some Red stuff if you guys want me to do some Red stuff. Obviously, I love talking about the Cincinnati Reds. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. And go Bengals. Hoo day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.